welcome back to the channel. It's Yvonne from GingerChickRehab. I am so glad to have you back checking out what Chris, I, and Alex are up to. Yes, in today's video, I am sharing how many garage sales is too many garage sales. Moving sales, estate sales, online sales, auctions. There's just so many things going on in the summertime, and now that I'm retired, I can actually do them. So I probably am going to, which I don't think it's too many. So in today's video, I am sharing a collaboration of garage sales and estate sales and moving sales, the whole what I just said earlier, and sharing with you our haul a little bit. I will tour a little bit because a lot of people want to just see the haul, and then at the end I'm going to throw in what items I envision to make over for you all. I feel like my viewers would love that. Oh, look at that rusty crusty. Rusty crusty. Ukulele. It's not a ukulele.
What's going on with the...
Look at these cute little cards. Those are so vintage.
What about the small cast iron pen?
Look at those old books. Because I need more old books, right?
Always.
Look at that little tiny baby. Even though at the end of the month, there is a local business that has an online sale. So, yep, it's a Friday night, usually the end of the month. So we all kind of watch as the weeks go on, as they put stuff on and save it to a watch list. And it's really fun because now Alex is involved in it. So this is just some of the items that they will be selling that are up for auction. So it makes it really easy. This is our watch list. You can bid right from there. And it closes at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time where we are. I don't know if they do it. I don't know if they ship or anything like that. I think it's just local and you pick up the next day before noon. So these are the items that we're all kind of interested in. And as you know, sometimes you just want to watch them. You have a price in your head that you'll go to if it's worth it. So as the night goes on, the bidding stops at 9. We usually start bidding about 8:30 just to see where the prices are gone and how many people are bidding on it. So yep, we could quickly narrow our watch list down by yep, well that just went too high and we haven't even started to bid on it yet. Then you know if you have the highest bid because it will be in green, and then if it is red, you know that you were outbid, and they usually want you to do a couple dollar increments of raising. And some items do have a set price that the seller, this business makes a commission off, so these aren't necessarily their pieces. People bring stuff in for them to sell for them. Yes, me and Alex have been way too many garage sales lately. So we actually have, he just loves doing it. So yeah, I kind of just go along with him. So I'm going to share, we kind of are testing out a little bit of the video, some of the haul, some of the makeovers, if I have any, throwing them all together. A lot of people said they didn't really care about seeing too much of what was out there. So I might throw a little bit in there, but not too much. So I hope we're testing this all out, because really I'm not going to Goodwill as much, because on Thursday, Fridays, and a lot of times on Saturdays, Chris finds an estate sale here or there. And so 3 days I am traveling around garage sale, estate sales, Yeah, so I haven't really been to Goodwill actually that much. It is just the season here in Michigan, and why they want to go, I am gonna hop on board and go along with them. So let's get right into what I found when I was out there shopping. So right off the bat, I spied a milk can at one of the local garage sales, and I'm like, oh, they probably have a lot of money on it. They are, usually when you see them, they're up there in price. Now this one was painted, so it needs a little bit of updating on it, but it was $5. So, and it's not rusted all the way through. You know, these are super heavy. So it has, its seam is coming off of it, but with the patina paint and how well I thought that little old vintage scale turned out, I am not intimidated by that at all. So love that find. Let's see, I'm trying to find the garage sales. And then for $2, I picked up, yes, actually, I think the other one's not in here. So this is, I got 2 of these this weekend for $2. I love when I find stools, and $2, a great price. And then at the same garage sale, I got the little stool. I got this basket with this greenery in it. Now the greenery is not really what attracted me. This market type of basket. And then when I was loading it in the car, I didn't realize it had handles. So $2. Yeah, it was $2. So I love this as is. I love that metal. So that was a great find. And then the same place that I got the milk cans, they had these little primitive little cardboard. They were $1.50. I don't know. I just thought, how cute are these? I just resell them for a few dollars. I just thought somebody would love those little, in their little decor, if they had a little cubby area. I thought that was sweet. Along with it, oh my gosh, this one was $1.50. Look at this clay goat. Oh my gosh, his little legs are hinged. I just thought he was too cute to pass up. You know, I like clay, I like pottery, so he just reminds me of an old Get Your Goat. he was so stinking cute. Okay, and then this was $1.25. It's primitive, it needs a lint roller, but $1.25 for this cute little sheep. Primitives are still, I think people who like primitives, we like our primitive. Now, I'm not gonna remember where all the rest of this stuff, because we ended up going to another citywide garage sale. This is like our 3rd weekend in a row of citywide garage sale. So we went across the border to Indiana and went to a citywide garage sale. So I picked up this little pipberry. This is actually metal. This was $1. I love stars. I'm attracted to stars. I love white pipberries, so I thought this was a great find. Just a nice little decor. You could put it on a sign. You could put it on a board. So there's a lot of things I could do with that. And then a metal candlestick. This was $1 also. I do love garage sale prices. As I've shared with you guys before, I've not really been a garage saler. So, and then I picked up this for Chris. He has some of these in his bar area. This was $5. The oddity is the guy said it's 20 years old and it still has that alcohol in it. I don't think Chris is going to try. I don't think he's gonna try it. Oh, but yeah, 20 years old. This does have a date on the bottom. I don't know if that means anything. So interesting, but for $5, I will see these out like in antique stores, and they're usually $12 to $21. So $5 just for a collection is wonderful. Okay, and then I did at the same place I got the basket. She just had these old vintage flashcards. 50 cents. I see the people use these on Instagram in their vignettes, so I thought the whole alphabet's not there, but I didn't care, and I like that it's aged, so that was fun. And then along with I don't remember what this one. This was a feed sack of some. I just like that it didn't have anything on it, and if I want to use it as a backdrop in something and cut it up, I thought it might have been $1 or $2. So. Love that. Anytime I don't have, I like tea dyeing, coffee stain dyeing you know, drop cloth, but you really have to pre-think about that before you do a project. So that's nice to have on hand. And then for $3, I picked up, this is probably just one of those little Hobby Lobby chalkboards, but they sell. So yeah, I mean, I can get $9, $12 out of this in the booth. People still like these. And then I don't pass up. I still have a few galvanized. This was $1. So these are your plant risers, and if you watched our outdoor series, I put all my plants in galvanized, and I like to lift them up because we just drill a hole in the bottom for drainage. And then we get earwigs here, little gross bugs towards the end of summer. So if I lift them up, I don't have to worry about those little critters being underneath my pots. That's one of the reasons I like to lift my pots up, is because one, it helps with drainage, and two, the little insects can't live underneath there. So if you see those, they're great. This one's black already. I usually will spray paint them. For $2, I did pick up this. I thought this was pretty. I changed this out to wire though. Put some kind of a wording on it for $2. I think it's pretty. I like that it's new age tinish. It was a Kirkland's piece. So yeah, I thought I like that piece. They had a couple of them, but I'm trying to be good and I only picked up one. And then, let's see, for $2, I picked up this tray. This is a Hobby Lobby piece, spring collection. I don't know how old, but I like the size of tray. I'll probably do some type of a patina on this just to age it up a little bit. Okay, this was at a garage sale too. For $1, this huge, you know, I could put one of those pieces of wood on this. So I was super excited about this piece. This was awesome. So I'll definitely be making this piece over. It's nice. I like all that detail. Of course, we always would like pairs, but that doesn't always happen. But I'll take my one. And before I show you those big pieces, my day finished up with my son, and look what I found. So they called it a flea market. It was, a lady has an antique mall, and then there's a whole bunch of storage units, so they have a flea market. So I think it was like the first day they were setting up, and some of them had storage units, and they just pop them open, and there's your flea market. There you go, it works. So I spied this from across because we really didn't see anything, because I guess I don't know I watch Jocelyn too much, and I want her flea market prices, so I don't want to pay antique prices at a flea market. But I did spy this, and it was where there was a whole bunch of clothes. So I was like, well, I'll go look, because I know that's ironstone. I know she is. And she's ironstone. So, and then it was funny because it was marked, it has a couple different prices on it, but it was marked down to $10. So yeah, so I got one for my collection. I'm always so happy when I find these big pictures. So can't wait to put this in with my collection. So I was super excited about that. So some of these items behind me, we did the online auction again, and they were some of the items that we won, but there are still a few little garage sales items here and there that I'll share with you. So we were actually walking up to a garage sale that I got that large candlestick at, and then a lady was just dragging stuff to the end of her driveway. I'm like, well, now I gotta go check it out. You know, is it free? Do you want to offer? So for $2, she said, make me an offer for $2. I got this cute little bench. So I think I have a couple of the style that I need to get done, but $2, thank you. And it's sturdy, thank you. And then for $5, I got this cute little thing. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. It wasn't marked, so I was worried it was going to be too much. But I can put a fabric back on there, or I can actually sand that down, which actually I think would be a little bit better, because then you don't have to worry about ruining the fabric. But yeah, this is a cute little a seat plus a stool, you know, and even like a little ladder. So $5 for that piece. And then this was some of the online auction items. So this, I couldn't help it. It was another galvanized bucket. It might have been a sap bucket because it has this on it. It already has some drainage holes in it. So $5, I won this at the auction. I was the only one to bid on it. I always say I like them rusty and crustier, and so because when I drill holes in them for my plants, I don't feel so bad. So I don't want them to be in the best shape. And I know y'all see that crock just sitting by itself down here. So yes, this one, this one needs a bath. So we'll see how this one cleans up. I think I'm going to be surprised how well this cleans up. So it looks like it's a salt one. So this, I won it for $13. So we waited till like 8:30 and it ended at 9 and started bidding. And once I upped the $13, nobody else bid against me. But I think most of this is gonna wash off. It's gonna wash off, I think. Well, I'll show you if it does. And then I think these were $5, some gardening tools. We actually needed a new rake. Our leaf rake had seen better days. So Chris thought I'll just pop $5 on there. So, you know, they're not metal anymore. Rakes are just not metal. They're all that bamboo that snaps. So this was, I thought this was a nice find. And then some of these, a little shovel, a little edger, some type of a little hoe, I think, and then I'm not sure what that one is. I'm not sure what that one, can't say I know what all these are, but for $5, we got ourselves a new rake. Now, this piece I'm not gonna lift up, but you can see there's 2 stools underneath there. We got that at an estate sale. They were $5 a piece, so I was happy to find, and they're actually bigger stools. Now this box was only $5. It's kind of heavy, so I don't want to try to lift it up. But it opens up. It's supposed to have a drawer. That's why he said he had it for $5. But I would leave it open and have Chris put some, he was with me, so put some legs on it. Wouldn't that be cool? And keep that kind of primitive vibe that it's got going on. Oh, I do see something I forgot to share. A $3 cookie jar. Look at this cookie jar. Now, it's funny when I eyeballed it because I do sell containers, kitchen containers like this. And the guy goes, oh yes, we had to get rid of that. That is way too hard to open for my cookies. So it has a really good seal. And I threatened Chris and said that I might change out his cookie jar because this one's a little bit harder to get into. I thought it was funny. I don't know if he thought it was as funny as I did. So, and then we have one more big piece I will show you, and then we will get to whatever the items I can envision to make over. I may not do all of them, not the furniture, because that's a whole nother story, but yes, I'll get to the makeover. So let's share this other little, actually it's not little, so it's a bar top. It's a bar top, and like a bar. And it didn't have the base to it, and Chris is just throwing like, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll throw a price up there. So for $7, I think he got this bar top. So yeah, there it is. It is a bar top. So brand new, it was still in the box. He took it out of the box. It has the hardware, the kick plate, I call it. Yeah, so it's really nice. It's a mahogany or cherry or just overlaid to look like that. It actually has drawers. These pull out, and this is some stainless steel in here. So I think Chris might be doing a project for you all, making a bar. We don't normally do bars, and probably something that he would probably sell on Marketplace. So we'll see what he comes up with. So that was a cool find.
Didn't even know that was there.
reality, I thought I was buying a gray crock, but it fits right nicely in between my other two thrifted finds. I know nothing about this type of, I don't have anything like it, but I knew she was special. I'm going to start right off with this tray, and when I did those other galvanized where I did the distilled vinegar, the salt, and the hydrogen peroxide, a lot of people said I didn't really need the hydrogen peroxide, so I'd actually let this sit in just a spray bottle where I put the 50 ratio of vinegar and salt together, wrapped it in some saran wrap, but it didn't do anything. So now I'm trying to get it to move a little bit, at least rust a little bit for me using some steel wool, but nope, sadly, it didn't do anything. So I ended up just using my patinas on it just to give it a little something different. For that sign, I'd like to do some permanent wording. So when I was looking, I'm like, oh, maybe I'd do a garden theme since, you know, it is the season. But when I was looking in the garden, I ran across this. And I thought, oh my gosh, there's so many dog lovers. So many dogs come into the antique mall where our booth is. I thought this was perfect. And I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of this chunky rope, so I usually always take it off and I replace it with some black wire after I'm done. But I thought the sign was just too cute, so you could hang it outside, you could hang it inside, either way. So I just cricketed it out on some Oracle vinyl, and then I'm just going to use some white paint to put it on like it's still the chalk look, but it just won't wipe off. Off camera, Chris actually took the nail out that was sticking out, and just since when I'm doing this videoing, it's the end of the night and I want to get painting on these tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and glue my wood pieces on now. But I got a little bit of, it's not the nail protruding, it's just a little bit of the paint protruding, so it's not laying flat. So I'm just going to hammer that flat and get some Titebond quick glue to glue this on. I'm doing the opposite. Usually I paint the candlesticks first and then put the pieces of wood on, but you know what is normal, so you just do what you have time for sometimes. So I'm getting these sprayed up with the Rust-Oleum paint and primer and black to give them a undercoat, and I'm going to seal that in with some polyacrylic because yes, the crackle's still going really well for me. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these up with some of the Dollar Tree glue and then let that sit for a little bit, and then add some of the Kills white that I love to get some crackle. I let them just dry overnight, and now I'm going in and sanding. I got some little bit of white to clean up before taking Waverly antiquing wax and darkening up that piece of wood. I do seal it in after it dries with some polyacrylic. No, I'm not showing you that I already cleaned it up and painted it black. No, I actually found another milk can at Goodwill for $10.29. What is the chances? I never come across one that are even cost efficient, let alone seeing them out in the wild. So I was super excited. Comparing this to the other one that you saw was very rusty, this one's in great shape. So all I'm going to do is go through and do a little bit of sanding on the areas to make sure that the paint isn't going to come off, and then get it cleaned up with just some super clean to make sure that it's ready for a new paint job. I could probably leave it as it is and do some patina, but of course I was on Pinterest getting inspiration, so my idea went another way. Sandpaper and a little super clean is not gonna help this. There's way too much chipping. So I'm like, hey Chris, where's that tool that you use to clean all the outdoor furniture? I think maybe I can control it. So that is what I'm using here, and just for protection, I don't want any of those pieces and parts flying in my eyes. That's why I just thought, I'm putting my whole face mask on, so it better to be protected. So yes, I'm trying to get all that chippiness off. Now I have this paint. It's enamel. Well, I thought I was buying more of the primer that's in the same kind of can, but it actually is a paint itself. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on these paint cans. Yep, I'm going black with them. That's going to cover up all that color. This one's still going to have a little bit of texture, but not the chippiness, so I want to make sure I cleaned it really well. It was good and dry, and I'm hoping that this enamel will help this paint stay on a lot longer than probably that white paint that somebody painted a beautiful scene on. So now I just went to my Cricut, I just picked a couple different fonts, found some inspiration on Pinterest of creamery and milk and cream, and I just put some vinyl, painted it on. Same kind of thing that I did on the sign, but I actually used the Kills paint and primer, which is an exterior paint, so this is staying on a little bit better, but of course I got to give it some age with some antiquing wax. And if I probably would have done a milk can before, I might have rounded it a little bit, but I love it as it is. So I thought I wasn't going to do any of the furniture pieces, which I consider this furniture, but I was working on another project that so Chris was willing to start working on this piece. So, okay, thank you. I'm always happy when he loves chipping in and he can see the same vision I do. So, yes, at one time this was upholstered. So what he's doing now is going through and all those tacks are left over in some of the batting. So he's trying to get it cleaned up. Then it does have a little bit of wonkiness. It's a little bit on the wobbly side, so he's just going to pre-drill a hole, put a screw in there so that it's nice and tight. So neither of us could envision this little stool being reupholstered, having fabric on it. Just the age of it, I really thought that we could get this wood cleaned up, but it's beyond that. So Chris is just cutting down some wood, scrap wood that he has, and making a new seat out of that wood for it. See, it just wasn't going to clean up and not really worth sanding. So as I said, he just has some scrap wood laying around, just cutting it to fit, tight bond glue, and some brad nails, and we're going to have a cute little seat. I really thought that the dirt that was on this would just wash off. Nope, I was wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and try to, there's brush marks and drip marks, and so I'm just going to take my mouse sander and try to sand what I can smooth with the electric sander. I'll have to go back in and hand sand some of it. Yeah, sometimes, those grab and goes and you think, oh, this will be easy. Okay. And then once I started sanding it, there's that air of that creamish paint that seems like nothing ever sticks to. So after I got that sanded and cleaned up, I ended up deciding to use a primer on it only because I didn't want my paint coming off. They were out of my normal gray primer, so I picked up what they considered this red primer. And it's actually a pretty color, but no, I'm not keeping it. It's only a primer. It is a nice color though, so yep, there comes the white. This was definitely something I did not want to paint by hand with a brush because I already had gotten off all that paint buildup and the drips and the runs, so I wanted to make sure that it was staying smooth. This is actually some of the palette wood that Chris has on here, so it's going to have a lot of marks, and so I'm just actually brushing on Waverly wax is what I'm doing because I know there's a lot of grooves that I want to get this into. I just love how that wax sticks in those grooves. So now I'm gonna not actually de-stress the legs or anything, but there's a lot of little grooves here on the footrest part, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that some distressing. It'll probably go down to that reddish color, which will be just fine of the primer. And then around the straight edges of the top where Chris framed it in, I just love, there's something about white and that dark walnutty stain of that Waverly wax that I just love it. And I love how that palette wood stained up. So now that my Waverly wax is dry, I'm gonna go ahead and seal this in with a couple coats of polyacrylic. And one more step before we are finished. After that polyacrylic is dried, I'm just taking some steel wool to make sure that my top is nice and soft. It always leaves it a little bit rough feeling, but just a little bit of fine grit steel wool will just soften that right up. So our last makeover is going to be this box. It's a very interesting little box. Maybe you all know what it might have been back in the day, but the guy that we bought it from said he felt it was missing a drawer, so that's why he sold it to us for $5. So we both decided that we thought it would look nice being rised up and being some kind of a little side table. So we have these leftover legs from some chairs that we actually cut up that were worst for wear. So yes, Chris is going to make basically a little table with the legs to put the box on. There's just something about being able to use up your scrap wood that's just hanging out, taking up space on projects like that little stool, and now this little going to be a side table. Yeah. Anyway, so Chris is getting it all sanded. It's definitely rough. This was actually pieces and parts of an entertainment center that we had decades ago that always used to be in our utility room that actually was my mother-in-law's. So yeah, so yep, it's nice that when we decided to do something with the utility room, he saved all the wood and took that apart. And so that's why it has this red color on it. Which is ironic because that's the same color, I think, as what that little stool primer was. So this spindle doesn't really go with the chair legs, but Chris is going to go ahead and sand it to make it fit. That's why the chair got taken apart in the first place. It was broken. So it is nice in that box of spindles that we all get that has pieces and parts to be able to use those up also. Sometimes I think I should just have an high five to Chris sometimes in these videos when all of a sudden somebody commented, I see different hands. So, yep, now it's my turn. I'm going to do the detail work. And first, I'm filling in his fresh screw holes that he made. And then there's a couple, too big of gaps that a nail is showing that I'm going to go ahead and wood fill in that too. But the rest of it, I want the character. I like that it's old. And yes, this is as cleaned up as it got. After its bath, this is it. So I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple coats of black on. I know you're all surprised, but just wait. It's not going to be my regular old black that I'm going to be doing. So first I got to get into the space where the drawer used to be. And no, I didn't want to get the sprayer out for just... I don't know. I know I got it out just for the one thing of the white, but at this moment it still has the white in it, so I really didn't want to spend the time to clean it just to change it over to black. But yep, getting into those cubbies are never very fun. Now that I have the 2 coats of black on, and it's just that ready to use black onyx from Walmart, now I'm sanding it off. So I just wanted to really clean up and make it a little bit more uniform looking, and I like the black. So I think, and then as I'm sanding it, that stripe in the middle was just kind of a little bit lower hanging out, and I thought, you know what, just leave it as is. It's that perfectly imperfect. As you see, I sanded the front, I painted the bottom so you didn't see that new wood with the old wood, and then I have a big piece of tape holding as a clamp holding so it doesn't open up on me. So yes, this is one of my best selling papers. Anytime I put it on an item, it doesn't stay in our booth long. So, and it goes well with the black, and especially this vintage of wood, it definitely reminds me of the old crate. So this is a perfect piece to put on here. And as you see, I'm just really trying to make my decision of where to make my cut. I know that it doesn't fit the hole, but I don't want to waste a whole bunch either. I always like to use my leftover for another project if I can. So just trying to make sure that I've got it pulled up enough that you can understand that wording, pulled down enough that you can understand that wording, enough left over for another project. So I'm just going to go ahead and make those cuts and cut off the excess. I'll just use some polyacrylic to glue the paper on, trying to keep it a thin coat and trying to not shift the paper as I'm gluing it down. I'll do a no-stain iron with some parchment paper after my polyacrylic is dry, trying to make sure that it's nice and flat, that it's attached, and that it's getting any of the wrinkles out. Now I need to open this box up by cutting the papers, so just using a sharp X-Acto knife, going very gingerly. And then after I get that opened, I'm going to take some 220 sandpaper around all the edges to cut off the excess paper and to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So I absolutely love this paper, but I want to take it a little bit browner than what it is. So I'm just doing straight antiquing wax. I didn't seal that paper in with anything because I wanted to be able to absorb in this wax. So this is going to brown it back up and make it a little bit more like it was the old crate. Now I have to figure out what I want to do with these legs. I love the character of the legs. It's matching what I just stained that paper, but there are some marks, there's some scrapes, there's some paint, there's just something. So at first I started off with just my Jolie black wax just in the crevices, but it didn't really adhere to where the marks were and where there might have been a little bit of paint. But I was liking where I was going, so I had to problem solve, kind of think, okay, what else can I do? So I decided to grab my Waverly ink chalk paint, and I already have my wax on there, so that's kind of like a barrier right now. And I'm just going to rub on this black chalk paint. And then since it already has the wax on, it's not going to act like a paint. I think it's going to act more like a stain and give me the look I'm going for. It'll attach more into those marks and over that paint, to the little bit of paint that's here and there, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. Now my final step is to seal in that paper. Yep, I'm polyacrylicing right over wax. It has always done just fine for me. So I'm doing a nice generous coat. I want to make sure that paper is going to stay on there. And then I'm going to have to go over the feet. I know that I waxed those too, but I mixed in chalk paint. So I want to make sure that paint is going to stay. So Chris is going to add a few little details that are really going to make a difference in this box, because it was really just a box. There was nothing to stop the lid from flopping all the way over. So he's putting this strong wire on here with a couple screws to stop it from hitting or going all the way, you know, opening up all the way. So that's one of the little details. And then it's kind of awkward to pick up and carry. So we're also adding these handles to the side. I found it very hard for me to carry, and I hated sliding it on its legs. So these handles will make it easy to move around and still keep the character of the box. And then along with just a little pull knob on the front to help you open it up. So I hope you all enjoyed this type of video where we show a little bit of our shopping, we show you our haul, and then I show you some makeovers. Oh, these were definitely different from the usual makeovers, but you never know when you're out there secondhand shopping what you are going to find. And I was super excited about those two furniture type pieces that if Chris was motivated to help me get them done, I was going to go ahead and share our process with you all and our vision of what we did to those items. And as always, give me a quick comment of what your favorite item that we found when we were out and about, along with which one I made over. So thank you so much for being part of our YouTube family. And if you're new and you're checking out our channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye!